Hi, this is Michael Tallis with the Tallis team. In today's video, I would like to share with you the latest market trends here in the Bay Area, and then compare them with what's happening across the nation. In this video, I also want to share our experience with the buyers. We were able to negotiate majority of our buyers' contracts one-on-one with the sellers, bypassing multiple offer situations. So the timestamps for different segments in this video will be in the description, so feel free to skip forward. The median home sale price this year reached its peak in June at $1,486,000, and then prices started to decline slightly. What we observed that after the meteoric rise of prices during the spring months, the market returned to typical seasonal trends when we see declines during July and August, and then activity picking up right after the Labor Day. September median home sale price was almost 12% above 2020 levels and almost 24% above 2019 level. We always look back at 2019 as the last normal market before the onset of the pandemic. What makes this market unique is how fast homes are selling. The median time on the market this year was hovering between 8 and 9 days. What that means that half of the homes that were coming to the market were selling in 8 or 9 days, literally after the first open house. Just to put that into perspective, the median time on the market in 2018, September 2018, was 18 days, exactly double the time of September of this year. The market activity is limited only by availability of homes for sale. The number of new listings this year fell by 5.4% comparing with 2020, but by historic standards, it was significantly higher than in previous years. The number of new listings increased by 14.7% comparing with 2019. And while the number of new sales decreased slightly this year versus 2020, the number of closed sales increased by 0.5% and was higher by almost 40% above the 2019 level. And the Bay Area is not unique in terms of price growth and shortages of inventory. Here is an article from Inman News dated September 28th of 2021. U.S. home price growth tallies biggest gain in a generation. U.S. home price growth soared 19.7% in July, extending an unprecedented 14-month streak of increases and setting a new record for annual price growth. And the reason they're citing for that, interest rates and lack of available inventory that continue to plague housing market. And here is why. America is short by more than 5 million homes, and builders can't make up the difference. Here is the calculation. Some 12.3 million American households were formed from January of 2012 to June of 2021, but just 7 million new single-family homes were built during that time. Situation in the Bay Area is even worse than in the rest of the country. Silicon Valley added only one home for every 6 new jobs last decade, helping send housing costs soaring. From 2020 to 2019, the number of jobs in Santa Clara County jumped by nearly 33%. During nearly the same period, from 2010 to 2020, its number of residences increased only by 7.2%. New housing construction in the region was so anemic that about 14 fewer units were built in the last decade than during the period from 2020 to 2010. This shortage of inventory and deficit of housing will continue driving home sale prices up. If you are thinking about buying a home here in the Bay Area, we would recommend you doing it earlier than later. If the growth will continue for another 3 to 5 years, as experts predict, today's price may be the lowest you will see for the rest of your stay. Next economic downturn may not bring home sale prices below today's level. Buying now? I can hear you saying, what about the competition? How about multiple offer situations? We really don't want to compete with 5, 8, or even more offers trying to get a home. Well, over the last 2 years, more than 75% of our buyers were able to negotiate their purchases one-on-one with the sellers, bypassing multiple offers. How do we do that? We have a plan. It requires a keen eye, a lot of patience, and a little bit of luck. Let's look at the transaction from the seller's point of view. You would spend a lot of time and effort preparing your home for sale and marketing it. And you would expect that your home will sell just like everyone else's home in 8-9 days. But for some reason, it stays on the market for 10, 12, 14 days, and you're not getting any offers. You as a seller will start to worry, will you be able to sell it and at which price? This is exactly the time when an experienced agent and a savvy buyer would submit an offer that will be accepted. This is Michael Tallis with the Tallis team. We work with only a small number of buyers and sellers at a time to be able to provide our 5-star service. Call us or text us so we can start on your home searching journey together.